Welcome back, everyone. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the unions and what's happening. Apparently they're out of money. They can't afford to pay their promised entitlement programs to their union members. A lot of people are under the impression that unions are a good thing, and they fight for workers' wages and all this. And up front, that's what it looks like. But the reality is they're fleecing the taxpayers. They're fleecing the state and local and federal government, for that matter, and they're fleecing their own members. They don't have any money because their money is being used, the money that they take from the union members is being used to fund all of their ideological organizations, to build a structure for fundamental transformation of the United States of America. And that's what it is. You see all of these rallies and protests going on around the country about immigration, and all of this is being funded by the unions. Now, how does the union have money to fund this? Where's the money from? Where does the money come from to fund these protests against America? It comes from union members. I don't understand why union members are not standing up in protest against their own union. See, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. And that's why they want this whole country to be unionized. Because you can't fight against the hand that feeds you. You can't fight against the hand that feeds you. And the unions, union people, as far as they're concerned, have unleashed their dog to get more for them. But the reality is they're not going to get it. It's going to collapse everything. And it was meant to and designed to do so. It's designed to burden the government, overburden the government with entitlement programs, to bankrupt the government, to enter us into some world government where now we're all interconnected. That's the only way we're going to get out of this, because we're too deep in debt and we can never pay it. They're already telling us right now. Every day they say, we'll never be able to pay this debt off. Never be able to. If you tax everybody 100%, you'd never be able to pay this debt off. Isn't that incredible? And people say, oh no, that's wrong. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The unions are fleecing their own members, and they're funding these organizations. Here's just a few of them. The ACLU, Amnesty International, ACORN, Southern Poverty Law Center, Apollo Alliance, the Joyce Foundation, the Emerald City, Greenpeace. The Emerald City, that's all unions. That entire thing is all unions. Greenpeace, the Tides Foundation, La Raza, which means the race. The race. You're funding racism. You're funding racism. And they're calling you racist. If you disagree with any of this stuff, you're a racist. These people that you're funding, you're giving money to. They're building an army. They're fundamentally transforming this country right in front of us. Do you see what's happening in Greece? These people are willing to allow their country to collapse to get their goodies. Do you think that they get their goodies when the country collapses? Listen, I wanted to just read something real quick to you about democracy. And that's what we have. Every time you turn around, Obama or somebody there is talking about democracy. Okay, democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. A country of laws. And that's what these people can't understand, because they want you to believe we're a democracy. Okay? Let me read this to you real quickly. It'll only take a second. About the time our original 13 states adopted their new constitution in 1787, Alexander Tytler, a Scottish history professor at the University of Edinburgh, had this to say about the fall of the Athenian Republic some 2,000 years ago. Greece, Athens. A democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. A democracy will continue to exist up until the time that voters discover they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury. From from that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidate who promised the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that every democracy will finally collapse due to loose fiscal policy, which is always followed by a dictatorship. Do you see what I'm saying? This is history. This is why they don't teach you history in school anymore, because they're trying to turn this country, change this country from a republic to a democracy. And that's what they did in communism as well. If you read anything on Karl Marx, you read anything on Gorbachev, they talk about implementing a democracy. Because in democracy you have mob rule, and ultimately mob rule leads to anarchy and then dictatorship and control over the people. Right now our Constitution, the laws prevent this from happening. But they're changing that. They're changing that. You understand? That's what this change is. It's not changing what we hate about government, which is totalitarianism and closed door and backroom deals and corruption. That's the change we all want. That's not the change we're getting. The change we're getting is fundamental. Is constitutional. It's Bill of Rights changes, where the government controls the people. That's the change we're getting. God save America.